So thank you so much, Basavaraj, for coming to this discussion. And just to give everyone your background, so Basavaraj I am Bangalore alumnus, right now working as product manager at Samsung. And this interview is more about getting inspiration from his career journey and understand how we can learn from it and what we can do in general and specifically for product management kind of roles. So thank you, Basavaraj, for coming to this interview. Can you please start with introducing yourself and how is it your career journey till now?
Sure, Alok. Yeah. Thank you for the short and crisp introduction. Just to brief it, I graduated in the year 2017. Engineering. I completed my engineering in 2017, and then worked for about 5 years as a software engineer. 2 years I worked at EY, and then 3 years at Accenture. So here mostly my role was completely tech-based, wherein I worked with a lot of US clients, and my role was mostly, as in my job was mostly towards this insurance sector and also digital transformation projects. So for most of our clients, we were helping them migrate from the old tech stack to a new tech stack. And after about 5 years there, I did my MBA at IIM Bangalore, and then finally here I am as a product manager at Samsung. So I always wanted to be in product because through my software engineering experience, I had learned how to break down a business problem into technical solutions. So I knew the technical side of it, but then the solutioning of how exactly to come up with this solution or prioritizing, all of that I did not know back then, and I was always interested there. So that's how somehow I got interest, and then IMB happened, and here I am as a product manager.
What kind of things did you do? What kind of preparation did you do? And more importantly, what kind of challenges did you face and how did you resolve those challenges?
So my preparation was totally based on two things. One was resume, and the second was case-based studies. As in, we used to take a lot of cases and solve it mutually. So I used to take an interview of my friend, and he used to do the same to me. So that way, it really helped me understand how exactly to deal with these design questions, or let's say problem solving questions, getting to the root cause. So that way, the case-based discussion really helped. And coming to the resume part, I ensured that I was always true to myself. So I never over bloated any numbers there. And for every single line on my resume, I ensured that there was a story behind it. As in every single question they asked on my resume, I had a proper justification to those numbers as well. This really helped gain the trust of the interviewer.
Great.
Challenges, I would say managing my MBA curriculum and my preparation along with the PlaceCom activity was really a tough thing. For others, generally getting into product roles would be relatively more difficult because they would not have the tech background. So there I had a edge, wherein I was coming from tech background. So for me, it was relatively easier. But for others, maybe this might be a challenge.
Great. So so I totally understand that point, right? That the time is always a crunch, right?
Yeah.
So how did you manage your time? I mean, what strategy or tactics you applied, and anything specifically did you do to manage your time amongst different activities so that you are not just losing out on the entire experience, but also preparing for your long-term goal, which is your career?
What we did was we had come up with a Kanban board. And on that we had stickers stuck every day, and we had specific focus items. One is PlaceCom activity, and other is interview prep, and the third part is let's say our curriculum. So we ensured that whatever free time we had was split equally, if not as in based on the priority. Now in December, if you have placements, then during September, obviously from September your acads will take a hit, right? You will focus less there. So based on that, we used to reprioritize, and that's how we were able to manage our time.
Great. Anything specific did you do, maybe which helped you improve or align your resume more towards product management?
So for me, thinking from customer sense was really tough. And for this, what I did was I used to read books as well. So Hooked was one book that really helped me. and of course the IMB curriculum as well. So I ensured that I took all the product management subjects in my elective term. That really helped. So
Great.
yeah, this was one thing.
Any specific thing did you find in your interview which was interesting or challenging, and how did you deal with it?
One was a very different case. So I had never come across such a case. It was on life cycle. So I was asked, since this was Samsung interview, I was asked on a gallery feature. So they asked me, if I were a product manager, when do you decide to actually go with the next iteration of the product or finally kill this product? So this was, I was taken off guard there. I was not prepared for this question at all. But somehow I was able to manage, because I knew how exactly the iteration works, the product life cycle works, and how exactly a decision is taken. So yeah, I was able to answer those cases well, I would say. Yeah, this was one off-topic question.
Yeah. See, a lot of people have a lot of fear about all this interview experiences, right? What if I don't know anything, or how should I prepare for it? Even if I prepare, can I able to crack it? Any tip or anything from your experience which you think can help others?
For people who are actually preparing, I would say if you are caught off guard there, just don't lose your focus, and also try to stay as calm as possible. And I feel it is also okay to admit that you don't know it. Maybe the interviewer will also understand and maybe come up with some other question, maybe, or help you somehow give you a direction on where to go, right? If you just don't tell him, then obviously he'll expect more and somehow you will lose it.
Another question is, this is more on the softer side of it. So one is case preparation and resume preparation, but a lot of time what happens, people also get stuck in a lot of behavioral questions, right? Like your failure, your weaknesses, your different type of questions like this. Yeah. Anything which you faced, or how did you deal with them?
Yeah. So for that, what I did was I googled a lot of these behavioral questions, and I had prepared Excel for myself. And for all these questions, I ensured that I had a real life example associated with it. In that Excel, this was a pretty long Excel I had prepared. So this helped me in two things. One is, if that specific question was asked, anyway I was ready with the real time answer, and these were real stories, right? I did not prepare any sort of fake stories there. And other thing was, even if the same question was not asked, if something related was asked, or something close to the same question, then I already had stories. Or even irrelevant also, I could somehow link these stories and come up with a better story during that interview. This also really helped. So yeah, this was my preparation for the behavioral questions.
Great. So excellent strategy. One question on a softer side only, but from a different angle. See what happens, what I have seen, that lot of people get very tensed. They are not very clear about what they should do. Even if they are clear, they are very tensed. So all this emotional, roller coaster they go through, right? Anything you would suggest how to deal with them, or any strategy which you adopted so that you not get carried away by all these emotions, and it should not make you dysfunctional in a way?
Yeah. Again, here in my case, I don't think so I had any specific strategy for it. I was just prepared for the worst. I would say if I get product, then that's the best that can happen. But what worse will happen? Maybe I might get some other role. But eventually, I always had a plan B to finally go for a product role, right? So at least for me, I would say maybe being prepared for the worst really helped. And I never panicked thinking that what will happen next. I always had this one day at a time policy, right? That I would just think at the near future and not the final end future.
Great. Excellent. Another thing is, since you know that we are doing a lot of mentoring, and we always like to understand how mentoring helps people. Say any anecdote or any example from your side, how some mentors would have helped you, or in general any guidance which you really liked.
Definitely, I would like to highlight that GoCrackIt really helped. So when we had 3 rounds of mock interviews, right? When I went for the first round, literally, you won't believe me, I was not prepared at all. And it was again a case-based. It was a resume-based, I believe. And the interviewer was really good. He told me what exactly has to be done. So I followed all the tips. And in second mock was based on case, I guess, product design round. So there also again there are a lot of improving tips given by the GoCrackIt mentors, and that really helped. And in fact, one mentor also gave us a list of 10-15 cases that he came across, which were really good. So these were actually the one of the best cases that we ever prepared, and that really helped. So yeah, GoCrackIt any day. I mean, no second thoughts at all. Yeah, thank you, Alok, for somehow helping me in the whole process. But really, yeah, GoCrackIt really helped me for the mocks and also for resume as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Basavaraj, for the kind word. Actually, we would also, as you know, right, we are always trying to get more mentors, and we would always love to have you also as our mentor.
Sure,
So
sure.
that is always there. Another, I think one more question I have from you is, if you have to list down top 3 books or top 3 resources which you think can help, really help, either in generally in career or maybe specifically to product management, or any resource, any book, anything which you maybe in this kind of must read or must see kind of a resource, what could be that?
Sure. So to understand what product management is, I would suggest 2 books. One is Design of Everyday Things. This is a pretty big book, and maybe it's real. It's a bit tough to hang on to the book, but it's an amazing book to start off. And Hooked is another book. This is a good book and a very small book, so you can finish off. And another which I'm currently reading, and it's a great book also again, that is Steve Jobs, the biography of Steve Jobs. That was given as part of a curriculum, and back then also I read it and I've started it again. So that's a pretty good book. In terms of preparing for PM interviews, there's one called Cracking the PM Interview, I believe, which is well known in the industry already. So that one I had referred, and that also helped me.
How does it look from a person who is doing an aspirational product manager to now a product manager? How the life is different? How maybe some misconception would have been broken? How it is different when you actually do that?
Yeah. So I can answer this from Samsung's perspective because product management role as such is too huge, and every other company has its own way of defining product role there. So here, whatever we learned as part of IMB curriculum has been true to me. We define the roadmap here, we work on solutioning part, and then finally starts the implement. So from the discovery till the final rollout of the product, we are there as product managers. So that way it has been great, because I was in the implementation part, wherein as an engineer I would just, so even in terms of tickets, if you see, so I used to work on stories. So I hope you understand the epics, the PRs and all that level, right? So every project is divided into multiple parts, and the last part is the story. So I used to work on the story level, and now finally I'm at the PR level, which comes at least around 4-5 levels above the story level. So that way it has been great. In 1 year, this has been a drastic change, I would say. I don't think so without an MBA this would have been possible.
One last question: any suggestion or any tips to future aspirants who either want to grow in their career or who may want to enter in product management? What could be your 2 cents to them?
Sure. So from product management, I feel that design mindset, it's called. So that is something you definitely should have. So what I look for in a person who wants to get into product management is that design mindset. So let's say you see something, right, on a day-to-day basis. If you see something, you have to look at that from a design angle. Let's say you are using a mouse. How can this be improved? How exactly will the next iteration look like? If this comes to you intuitively, then I guess you can be a very good product manager. Even a website, you see, there is scope for improvement in everything for that matter. So that way, if you love doing it, then you'll be great at it. Obviously, you should enjoy doing this. So I don't think so there are any product managers who don't want to be product managers, right? Because this has to come to you. If not, then you can't really excel at it. So that is one thing. So this takes a lot of time to develop. You need to have the patience to finally get there.
Yes. Correct. I always tell people, and I mean, it's a very well-known thing, this career is a marathon, right? So you have to really love what you're doing, and then only you'll go. So this was a very excellent and very insightful discussion, Basavaraj. Actually, I made maybe 2-3 page notes. I don't know whether you can see it. some of the thing was quite striking for me. Like you actually created a Kanban.
Yeah.
Really, this thing, you got some very curved ball at your life cycle
Yeah.
of life, right? And then you also talked about different. How did you prepare for behavioral training? That was quite intense, like and then some books, and importantly, that how do you build that design mindset, right? So
Yeah.
I got a lot of things to learn, and I think I'm sure a lot of students who will, or mentees who will interact with you, will also get to learn a lot of things.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you so much for this interview, and I all the best. I wish you the best for your future endeavors, and let's be in contact definitely,
Sure.
and help each other so that we can take other people also in this successful journey.
Definitely, Alok. Yeah, I would want to be part of your journey overall, because I also love to mentor people.
Yes.
Again,
Yes.
here I've been on the other side. Right now, I want to be here and somehow paid forward. So
See, that is the biggest thing, right? Because once you have gone through that journey, you can totally empathize with the person who's on the other side. So
yes,
that's an excellent thing, and we will definitely have you on board, and we will be quite collaborating. Actually, we will be interacting a lot. Actually,
sure. That way, even I can learn a lot, right? Because interview always is a two-way thing, right? You get to learn from the other person as well. So that way, even I'll be happy. So
it's totally mental. I mean, mentor gets so much learning. I mean, I've been mentoring so many people, so you
yeah,
can ask me. I learned so many things from people, and that's kind of adds to my whatever you call it, a mental map or whatever you call it.
sure. Yeah, definitely agree. Totally agree.